When Trey got home after his frat party, he realized he had a test the next day. Trey quickly realized that he was stressed out. His amygdala recognized the fear he was undertaking and sent signals to his sympathetic system in his prefrontal cortex. The signal sent to his sympathetic system caused his heart rate and breathing to increase due to secretion of epinephrine. The other signal was sent to the prefrontal cortex, which compared his new stressor with initial emotional information that came from his amygdala. Successful Trey decided to solve the problem using a challenge approach orientation. He used the prefrontal cortex function to transfer his emotional fear into useful energy. With this energy, he sobered up, gathered all of his study materials, made himself a cup of coffee, and got together with a classmate to study. He later received a decent amount of sleep and reviewed his previously studied material before the test. Successful Trey surpassed his expectations and did fairly well on his test. This is positive reinforcement for successful Trey to react in a proper manner to stressful situations. This prepared him for the future as he took on working in the medical field.
Unsuccessful Trey used a threat avoidance approach to solve the situation, meaning that his prefrontal cortex read his panic emotions and initial physiological arousal as a sign that he needed to avoid the problem. Fear consumed his mind, causing him to think of many excuses to not take the test, such as calling in sick, saying there was a family emergency, or oversleeping. With all of the excuses consuming his mind, he was unable to make a good decision. He decided to ignore the situation and continue partying it up with his frat brothers that night. The next morning, he emailed his professor saying that he had tested positive for mono and needed to take the test another time. The professor accepted his sick excuse and allowed him to take the test once he was feeling better. Trey began using this method more often to get more time to study for his test, creating positive reinforcement. He used this stress method for the rest of his life to find more time to meet his deadlines and to party at the same time. He eventually died not accomplishing any of his life goals because he could never meet any of his deadlines.